It was a historic moment for the Chesapeake Bay as lawmakers introduced legislation to add it to the national park system. This comes after decades of discussion. 47 ABC's Jack Fitchner has more now.
We're committed to making sure that we preserve it for generations to come, while we also make sure that the people who make their livelihood off the bounty of the Bay can continue to succeed.
U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland says that making the Chesapeake Bay a Chesapeake National Recreation Area, or a CNRA, has been discussed for 4 decades, and it has finally been introduced to Congress.
Congressman John Sarbanes and I introduced legislation to establish a Chesapeake National Recreation Area. That would make the Chesapeake Bay a part of the national park system.
This does not make the Bay a national park, but does allow the watershed federal resources and support.
And these recreation areas are ways to bring in the iconic brand of the National Park Service and help ensure that we provide federal resources for conservation, but it also will boost tourism and economic development opportunities for people in the region.
The new bill comes after months of gathering input from people from across the Bay watershed of Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. Mark Conway, Vice President of Programs at the Chesapeake Conservancy, says they even took a poll to see public opinion on making the Chesapeake Bay a CNRA.
Overwhelmingly, we got support. 83% of folks from Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. responded in favor of the idea of a park.
President and founder of the Blacks of the Chesapeake Foundation, Vincent Leggett, says the Chesapeake Bay to him are waters of hope to people who depend on its resources.
A lot of resources to individuals in the seafood and maritime industry, whether that was as watermen, boat builders, sail makers, owners of seafood processing plants, owners of 5-star restaurants, but also individuals living in our urban centers.
I'm Jack Fitchner, 47 ABC, WMDT.
Senator Van Hollen says this bill is just the first step and that he's confident that it will pass in the future. And here at home, the Salisbury Police Department is partnering with the National Night Out organization to bridge the gap between law enforcement and residents. It's the annual National Night Out community event. Now that will take place at Salisbury City Park and is free for all. A variety of vendors, including athletic groups and family health services, will be on site. Now, Salisbury Police Sergeant Thomas Hitty also tells 47 ABC those who come out can also expect lots of giveaways.
Typically every year we go out and purchase about 100 bicycles and we give them away to the children through raffle.
And with the new school year just around the corner, Sergeant Hitty also tells us there will be school supplies on hand for families in need. And moving over to the first state, U.S. Senator Tom Carper made his annual visit to the Delaware State Fair today. He told us agriculture and tourism are the first state's top businesses, and he's glad to celebrate them at the fair. Now, Senator Carper believes it's a great place to meet constituents and credits the connections he's made over 30 years ago with launching his career.
I'm convinced that the reason why I was elected at the age of 29, not known by many people in the state of Delaware, not having any money, was the Delaware State Fair. And as a governor coming back all those years later, focused a whole lot on the economy, how to strengthen our economy, provide for a strong economy. And again, agriculture and tourism flow right from the Delaware State Fair.
Now, during his visit, Senator Carper also got the opportunity to try out some local produce and meet local farmers. And staying with the fair, it's set to wrap up this weekend, and families across Delmarva have gotten in on all the fun over the past 9 days. But now, we're spotlighting those who work behind the scenes. 47 ABC's Rob Flex got an opportunity to spend some time with the cleanup team to learn about all they do.
Here at the Delaware State Fair, there is a lot of tasty food to try, like these gator bites in my hand here, but with every plate of food comes a little bit of trash with it. The businesses here say it can be almost too much to handle. Luckily, they have a cleanup crew that snaps into action.
You wouldn't be anywhere without the backup.
I go behind the businesses and help clean up the trash and do other stuff like clean the tables, sweep up the trash. It's a clean team.
Stephen Miller is just one of 50 team members who are patrolling the fair, Looking for a mess that needs cleaning, vendors falling behind, or even just a trash can that needs changing.
Trash everywhere, soda everywhere, dirty tables.
As of Friday, temperatures felt over 100 degrees, but that wasn't slowing them down, with businesses saying they don't know what they'd do without them.
He keeps everything spotless. Even when we're so busy, we don't have a chance to, we just throw the trash out, trying to get it out the door. Stephen is always there.
Alvy says her message for anyone at the fair who sees a clean team member:
give them a positive thought. They're out here breaking their backs for all of us.
Now, tomorrow will be the final day of the fair, and if you plan to head out and see a member of the cleanup team, be sure to say hello. And now we're going to toss things over to Chief Meteorologist Rich Wardsick.
All right, Javari, we got a lot of action going on out there right now with storms, and the timing perfect for the Delaware State Fair since these waited until later in the evening to develop. But severe thunderstorm warnings, you've been seeing them run at the bottom of your screen. This is a nasty storm coming out of Dorchester County, leaving Hurlock, now crossing over into far western Sussex County, Seaford. Look at all those lightning strikes. That's just in the past 5 minutes. And I put a storm track on here so you can see where the storm is headed. The chance for damaging winds, some torrential rain to go along with that. Bridgeville, it's already there. Georgetown, 11:33. This track takes it to Lewis here just before midnight and eventually off the coast here. But those of you watching from Rehoboth Beach, let's say, up to Lewis, know that this storm is likely to be in your neighborhood here before the top of the hour. And putting this into motion here in the past hour, I want you to see that little line right there that moved through Seaford and Dewey Beach. That's an outflow boundary, that cool air rushing, acting as like a mini cold front, helping to spark up these storms as it's moved south. So it's not to be said that we couldn't see some development down towards Salisbury and Ocean City here over the next couple of hours. But the trend here is to quiet down with each hour we go into the night. And a lot of this action is set to move off the coast here, and we should be done talking about rain here in a few hours. Let's go outside here where the rain is just about to move in with that big storm off to the west. Shore Auto Sales Skycam in Georgetown. A breeze going on right now that is not helping to make it feel cooler. It is 85 degrees still in Georgetown. It's still 87 in Ocean City. Check the rain-cooled air, though, in Cambridge at 79 and Easton at 75. This is crazy. Feels like temperature of 100 in Ocean City right now. It was 112 in Cambridge before those storms moved through. It still feels like 97 in Salisbury. See that cool air coming into Georgetown before that storm moves in. So it's helping that these storms are out there. But these are tropical dew points, close to 80 degrees, a measure of how much humidity is in the air or how much moisture is in the air. These numbers are what matters going forward, because once we bring them down, we'll stop talking about heat advisories and excessive heat warnings. And those warnings, by the way, out again for tomorrow for Dorchester, Wycomico, Somerset counties, the rest of the area under a heat advisory. One more day. If you look off to the north near the Canadian border, look at that dew point of 58 in Alpena, 60s down to even Pittsburgh. That's drier air. It's heading in our direction, right behind a cold front. That means we go through another round of storms, though, tomorrow. Here's Futurecast to track that for you. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 7, 8 o'clock, big storms moving across Delmarva. Again, that threat for damaging wind. We're going to track that closely for tomorrow evening. Back to tonight, a few more hours. Storms will move out, staying awfully warm. 95 to 100 tomorrow. Heat index again pushing 110. Those afternoon storms, got to watch for the severeness of those storms in the order of damaging winds and even some hail. Can't rule that out too. Oh, but this is nice here. Going into next week, we drop to the 80s for highs and 60s at night. I've got more on this coming up on the other side of the break. We've got more DSI coming up too with Devin. I'll be right back right after this.